You should build a suspend deck in Magic the Gathering. If you don't know what I'm talking about, suspend is basically where you pay a discounted cost on a spell. You pause it in exile for a certain number of turns. When those turns have come up, bing bada boom, you can cast the spell without paying its mana cost, and if it's a creature, it comes in with haste. That's really awesome. So why should you build it? I got two reasons for you. Reason number one, psychological manipulation. Reason number two, mana efficiency. Okay, everyone knows Magic the Gathering is a battle of wits where you're trying to bluff and politic with your opponents. In many cases, you're not going to know what is in your opponent's hand, and conversely, they're not going to know what you're rocking with either. But suspend kind of changes things. Your opponent is going to notice, oh my god, you got an Emrakul coming up in 2 turns in suspend. I'm peeing my pants right now. It is awesome. You're in their head rent-free. They're going to be freaking out. They're going to see all the scary stuff you have in suspend. They're going to be trying to just build up. It's awesome and really cool. Then, of course, there is the mana aspect of it. A lot of spells are just cheaper to suspend than to cast. That makes them good. You see, in Commander, you're going to have to trade off time for mana a lot of the time, because why pay all the mana when I could just wait a couple of turns? I got 40 life anyway. It just makes sense. There's going to be a lot of times where you just have a couple extra land lying around, untapped, nothing to do with it. Why not suspend something? It's a bit of like a Roth IRA, an investment for the future. I got 2 mana now, nothing else I can do with it. I might as well put a card into suspend and see what happens. See if I last long enough. It's cool. It gives me something to look forward to. It's really nice. So yeah, what are the best suspend commanders? Let's hop right into it. I would be remiss if I did not talk about Joyra of the Gitu. 1 blue-red human wizard 2/2. That is amazing. You can put anything into suspend with Joyra. You can put Ulamog the Defiler, a 10-mana scary Eldrazi, or Swiftfoot Boots. It doesn't matter. You probably wouldn't do that, but you can put anything into suspend. You see Joyra's main ability, 2 mana, 4 turns-ish, and you can get anything. A Portal of Phyrexia, doesn't matter. 2 mana, 4 turns, bing, bada, boom, it's coming out of suspend. It is really awesome. But there are a couple of other commanders you should keep your eye on if you like suspend, and you should. Aluondo the Seer is 2 green-blue human shaman, 3/5. You tap, draw a card, then you exile a card from your hand, put a number of time counters on it equal to its mana value, and when you remove all the time counters, you cast it without paying its mana cost. Creature spell, gains haste. Remove a time counter from each other card you own in exile. It's really good. It's no mana. You just got to wait N turns, where N is the mana value. And then if you untap it a whole bunch of times, we'll get to it. It's really good. Then there's the 11th Doctor. 1 white-blue, Time Lord Doctor, 3/2. Whenever you deal combat damage to a player, because it's free, you can exile a card from your hand with a number of time counters equal to its mana value. If it doesn't have suspend, it gains suspend. I know I said no mana, but you can pay 2 to make him unblockable, allowing you to do it. So you can pay 2 mana, make it unblockable. So yeah, you pay 2 and then you can exile a card from your hand. It's like Joyra, but a little bit different. Then, of course, there is the 10th Doctor. 3 blue, red, Time Lord Doctor, 3/5. When you attack, you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card, put 3 time counters on it. If it doesn't have suspend, it gains suspend. So this is another no mana suspend card, and you just got to wait 3 turns for it to come out. It makes a lot of sense, except you can't pick what spell is going into suspension. It's just whatever the first non-land card from your library is. Of course, you could pay 7 mana to reduce the time counters down by 3. So yeah, you can get it right now for 7 or wait 3 turns for no mana. It makes a lot of sense. Those are some of the cool commanders, but you could also just remove time counters from stuff in suspension to make any of these cards really good and busted. Like Joyra's Time Bug, a 2-mana insect, tap and remove something. There's Clock Spinning, it has buyback, so you just pay 1 and 3, and then you remove another time counter, really good. Rift Elemental is 1 red, and you can pay 1 and a red to remove a time counter. That can help you get those things you want earlier. There's also Time Crafting, where you can just straight up steal a bunch of stuff off a suspend card for X and a red, so you can get something you need right now. If you need a Chronomantic Escape, we'll go over it. And then there's Fury Charm, 1 and a red, remove 2 time counters from something in suspension. Really nice, really good. Of course, you can also use Obeka, Splitter of Seconds, this 1 blue, red, black. Ogre Warlock 2/5 gives you a billion upkeeps when they do damage. It's really good. Helps with the suspend. Then there's Paradox Haze, gives you an extra upkeep. Then the Ninth Doctor gives you an extra upkeep. Sphinx of the Second Sun gives you an additional main phase or like beginning phase, so you get an upkeep, untap, stuff like that. And then their younger brother, Shadow of the Second Sun, where you get an additional beginning phase, including that upkeep where you remove all those time counters. Whew, I'm going off. Now, of course, all these commanders put stuff into suspend if they don't have suspend already. But there are a bunch of really good self-suspending cards, if that makes sense, that just keep giving you suspend that you don't need these commanders for. Like Chronomantic Escape, as I mentioned before. Instead of paying 6 mana, you suspend it for 3, wait 3 turns, and then until your next turn, creatures can't attack you. And then you just get it every 3 turns. You're going to see I highlighted a lot of these because I think these are my favorite suspend cards ever. They're so cool. Reality Strobe, you return target permanent to its owner's hand every 3 turns. So the biggest thing, the highest mana value, whatever sets your opponents back the most. You can also just bounce your own stuff sometimes if you want to get like a Solemn Simulacrum. I don't know. Then there's Inspiring Refrain, draw 2 cards every 3 turns. That's really good. Rousing Refrain gives you a bunch of mana sometimes every 3 turns. Really nice. These ones are all cool. Then if you like land, Venture Forth gives you a land card every 3 turns. You can see how much I like these guys. Hypocrisite dies and comes back, so you can just kind of keep cycling this guy in suspension. He comes back as a 4/4. That's pretty good as a blocker. Then there's Arcblade, the younger brother of Lightning Bolt, who comes back, you guessed it, every 3 turns. So you don't even need these commanders. You can just have a bunch of guys hanging out in the suspend zone, getting their effects every 3 turns. These spells are all amazing with Kellan the Kid. He's green, white, blue for a human fairy rogue 3/3 who says whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand and suspend is in exile, you may cast a permanent spell with equal or lesser mana value from your hand without paying its mana cost. And if you don't, you just put a land onto the battlefield. That is amazing, which means every 3 turns we are getting freebies because of these spells. Not only are we getting what they do, we're also getting free Kellan triggers so we can get a land or we can get something with like its lesser mana value. So like 4 or 5 mana. It is amazing. One of my favorite things about Suspend is just how versatile your win conditions can be. You can win with Keeper of Secrets, a 6 mana demon that whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, they deal damage equal to that spell's mana value to target opponent. Every 3 turns, you're doing 6 to 8 damage. It's insane. There's also Flaming Tyrannosaurus, a 7 mana dinosaur. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, they deal 3 damage to any target, parentheses your opponent, and then you put a +1 counter on it. When it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. So now it's doing 10, 15 damage. It doesn't matter. You're suspending so many cards. Flaming Tyrannosaurus is a huge, huge win condition. Just blasting your opponents when it dies. There's also Faldorn, Dreadwolf Herald, who makes a bunch of wolf tokens when you cast something from exile, very similar to Iraxa, Empress of Mars, who makes alien warrior creature tokens. It is amazing and awesome. Now, I'll be the first to admit, there are a couple of caveats with Suspend. The main one being you're a lot like Captain Falcon. Your moves are incredibly powerful, but also incredibly telegraphed. You see, your opponents might notice, hey, your It That Betrays is coming up in 3 turns. I'm just going to hold my counterspell and wait for it, which is totally fine. In my opinion, I think that's great. For every It That Betrays that gets countered, that means there's an Atali Primal Storm with haste that swings out and casts a bunch of spells, getting you those exile triggers. Or you get a Star Whale, you get a Deep Sea Kraken, maybe even a Desolation Twin. All these other high-value spells, they can't counter them all, and that's part of the fun. Now, of course, you might get targeted, what can I say? But you have 40 life to start with, so you're gonna be able to get out that hasted Blightsteel Colossus by turn 6 and win the game. Guaranteed every single time. Which segues really nicely into the next section of the video I like to call cool combos you can do with Suspend. Let's hop right in. First up, Emoti Celebrant of Bounty is 5 mana for a 3/1 druid that says spells you cast with converted mana cost 6 or greater have Cascade. Nice. Reality Strobe, hey, we've seen that before, is technically 6 mana, even though you're only paying 3 mana for it. That means every 3 turns, you Cascade for 6 because you're technically casting it. What? That's insane. Then there's Inspiring Refrain. Now every 3 turns, you draw 2 cards and Cascade for 6. That's insane. Emoti and these spells combo really well together. One of my favorites. Great. Hopping into the 10th Doctor and Rousing Refrain. This can go infinite if an opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand because Rousing Refrain, you make 8 mana, then suspend it with 3 time counters on it. The 10th Doctor, you pay 7, time travel 3 times, recast Rousing Refrain. What? That goes infinite. Awesome. Great. I don't know what you want to do with all that red mana. Put it into something cool and blow up your opponents. It's great. Then there is Aluwando the Seer. What he does, you tap and draw a card, exile stuff, bing, remove time counters, and cast spells. So Chakram Retriever says whenever you cast a spell during your turn, untap target creature. So you tap Aluwando, and that somehow casts a spell from exile. Chakram Retriever goes, hey, untap that Aluwando the Seer, and then you tap it again, draw another card, and then cast another thing. Especially with Venture Forth, it's re-exiling itself with 3 time counters on it. You're untapping, you're tapping, you're casting spells. You can throw in a Marvin Murderous Mimic, so now you tap twice and put 2 things into it and remove 2 exile things. It goes like half infinite, I would say. It does a really good job. Of course, you can throw in Talarian Kraken if you want to just be absurd with this. Whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. When you do tap or untap target creature, you draw a card as part of the Seer's activated ability. So you just pay 1 and tap and untap him. It's crazy. It is insane. So with all that said and done, all those cool combos, all those cool suspend cards, I think it is fair to say you should build a suspend deck in Magic the Gathering. What do you think? Do you like suspend? Leave it in the comments down below. And of course, if you like this video, leave a like. If you subscribe this video, subscribe. If you want to come hang out with us, we have a Discord. It's fun and awesome. Cute little guys. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.